Welcome, everyone. I'm Ivy Rivera. I'm a psychic medium, a Taino Airwalk. This is my Ask Ivy show where I take your personal questions and deliver out messages from spirit. You can ask any type of question: health, wealth, travel. If you have questions about investments, I mean, there's really nothing that's off the table. You are going to drop a $10 donation and your question. Kim, my beautiful producer, will be grabbing up your questions. And if you are here on YouTube at Ask Ivy, you'll see it pop up on the screen. If you're tuning in from somewhere else, you're just going to have to keep listening. And I do want you to include, please, the first name of whoever it is that you're referring to in your question. Or if you're asking about like different addresses, you know, which house should I buy or which job should I take, at least give me the initials. Now, if you want to book a private reading, you don't want to be doing this here with the public, you can go onto my website to book with me, Ivy Rivera Psychic Medium.com. Same thing goes for holiday parties or psychic fairs. I do want to ask everyone right now, if you have not subscribed here on YouTube at Ask Ivy, please do so at this time. I am just a tiny bit away from 12,000 subscribers, which I have done almost exclusively with live shows. And it has taken forever. Thank you, Kim, for popping that up. So I'm really excited. I am this close, okay, to 12,000. Now, when I hit 12,000 subscribers, I will be doing a free Ask Ivy show for the public, for all that have become subs. So please hit that button. All right, we are going to start with who's first? Edgar. Edgar says, what blessings are coming to me for the remainder of the year? Remainder of the year blessings for Edgar. So that's going to be a little bit in September, October, November, December blessings. December holds probably the most blessings for you in a way that you're really going to be able to identify it and embrace it and say, oh, wow, I feel my prosperity growing, because some of it is money. I'm seeing like money sprinkled down upon you. This could be an increase with a work situation, titles, but also, you know, pay increase, things like this. I think that it may also free up your schedule in a way that you hadn't necessarily expected. So your schedule seems to be taking a deep breath. You know, it looks like a bird or a butterfly. It's like spreading its wings. It's like, okay, I finally have, you know, some level of freedom here. I feel like I'm in alignment. I am where I belong. And so the blessings that come from that, you could call it a promotion or that, you know, prosperity, extend far beyond your typical pay rate increase or title increase. You know, I think that the other thing that's happening around that time is that you may have more fluidity with your relationship. So in regards to feeling more intimate or connected to others, I don't necessarily feel like it's something you need to work at, but I do think it's something you're going to have to be mindful of. So having an awareness of your, you know, friendship circles and those that you are interested in reaching deeper levels of intimacy with is key. With you being so busy and so many changes going on, I could see you just walling all of that out and being like, yeah, that's great. You know, it's good to know I have those friends. Okay, well, you know, they're reaching out to you at this time. They're wanting you to just stay a little longer, just spend a little more time. Okay. And so make it happen. I do think that October can also bring something in alignment with romantic partnerships. You could find yourself talking to someone who talks really fast or is talking at you. You may build up a friendship and it could sort of twist into something romantic. Okay. So I like October for that as well. And that could be happening at a party. CJG. All right. Could you tell me what I have coming up for me in love and romantic relationships next year? CJG 2026 in love. 2026 CJG in love. February dividing line going into March. Dividing line, and then we got October, and then going back to 2022. Who the heck is that? I don't know if we want to go backward. Well, you'll have some options. But by December, you seem to be putting your foot down and saying, I want to be alone. That doesn't mean none of these will work out. It just may mean that, like, sometimes when you invite dating into your life or a relationship into your life or whatever, just even casual situation, it's a lot of maintenance, and it can be a little bit of a juggling act. And then it feels like by the end of the year, you're calming down and you're like, okay, whatever, that can be there, but that really needs to be way out there. Like, don't expect me to text every day. Don't expect me to be around on a weekly basis. Don't expect, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, you get it all figured out, but with you at the center, not that I ever see you removing yourself from center, okay? The whole year. But it does look like February, something has come in and you're examining it. You're taking it pretty seriously. I see someone with a nice watch. I'm not saying like a Rolex per se, but I always notice a guy's watch. It says everything I need to know. Or if he doesn't have one, whatever. But you seem to be noticing this and you're like, really into, I want to say, the way he dresses, he grooms himself. I mean, just incredible, like, hygiene and self-care. It's symbolic, I think, with this person of someone authentically loving themselves and really being in alignment. All areas of his life look like this. His bathroom, his clothing, his mentality, his spiritual development. But this is kind of where you come in, because that's an area where he needs more growth. And it's like, for you, you're finding someone who isn't faking it. You're finding someone who's the real deal. You're finding someone who every aspect of their life, you go to their house, you open up a closet, skeletons aren't going to fall out. You're realizing that this person is a developed character with integrity. And what you see is what you get. So there's a simplicity there to that. Yeah, we'll see. By March, there's a big dividing line, which means in March, you're going to be looking back even at the previous month, and things are pretty unrecognizable. Lots of change in different areas. So I would focus there first. And then we'll see. Like I said, October, you have an ex coming back. And by December, you're like, I need a break. Okay. So it's going to be a busy year for you. Maraid D. Any kind of question goes, guys. Drop your $10 donation and your question. Don't forget to include the first name of whoever or whatever you're referring to. Maraid D. Hi, Ivy. I've been feeling down, heavy lately, and having the urge to smoke cigarettes or start vaping. Again, I'm not sure why I'm feeling this. What should I do to uplift my energy moving forward? Well, I will tell you, that is a hell that is almost impossible to get out of. I smoked for a long time. Since I was 14, it took me 7 attempts to quit. I would quit for a year, longer than that even, and always go back. And I'm telling you, it is not an addiction worth getting into. And it's not just about the chemicals in the cigarettes. So let me just scare you here for a minute, okay? First of all, it's going to age you. It's going to make you look like crap, okay? You have to be careful, because it isn't just, especially if you are neurodivergent in any way, you have anxiety. We know now that something like smoking calms down things like your ADHD, distraction, right? OCD loops. It calms down. So a lot of people are doing it not just for the chemicals in the cigarette, but because of the ritual, the relaxation, that it brings. Now, you've identified that part, but I don't think you're taking it seriously enough, how addictive that ceremony, that smoke is going to be for you. And there's almost an equal amount of damage that can be done by vaping instead of smoking. So these are not good options for you. I think ultimately what you need to look into is what it gives you. So that's the question, because you could go to anything. You could eat cookies. You could develop a sex addiction. Why smoking? Why vaping? Why that? It's giving you an opportunity, ironically, to catch your breath, right? It's calming your nervous system. It helps you to get in alignment with yourself and to get more centered, to clear your mind, to calm your heart. It is a soulful experience. And you need to replace this desire to smoke with something else that can give that to you, but within reason, because you're not going to find something that like hits that hard. You're really not. It's going to be a combination of general stress and anxiety reduction, right? And then a willingness to look into what else satisfies you in that way. So I think that the nervousness, the dysregulated nervous system and anxiety you're feeling really needs to be addressed either through, you could talk to a therapist, you could hit up YouTube, you need to come up with at least 3 different things that you can try for a few weeks and really understand what works best for you. This is an opportunity, I would say, for you to better get to understand, to better understand the way your mind works, things that are triggers for you, to understand how quickly also you resort to putting things in your mouth, okay, that you shouldn't be, and mature out of that. So it's a big opportunity, but do not light up. I am telling you. All right, Elvin Ramos. Any messages from my grandparents or godparents? I want to say godparents. You have a lady here who's funny. I see her dancing. I see her being like observational humor, like just mocking things. She has a way of wanting to pamper you like you're always a little kid. There's talk of you needing to write down, it's almost like a new notebook or a new journal. I see you opening up a notebook, a black notebook, and the symbolism behind something black and something blank, like a brand new notebook, is similar. This is about your free will. This is about your development and not having a specific direction. When you open up a notebook like this, you don't necessarily know where it's going to go. And I think that's the point. I think what she's trying to say to you here is that it's time for you to do more self-reflection and self-discovery and evaluate where you are with your feelings, right? So your emotions, your life circumstances, your health, your relationships, all of that through writing, journaling, simplistic, right? Sketching even. There's no right or wrong to this, but it seems like you've been avoiding doing that part of the work. And you may have been called to do this about 5 years ago, and then again about 8 years ago. And this is where your godfather steps in here. It feels like time for celebration. Okay, so I do see him smoking. I'm not saying, what is it with the smoking tonight? I'm not saying smoke or, get into some bad habits here, but I think he may have gotten into some habits for stress reduction. He just seems super chilled out when I see him smoking. So I think that, him using the symbol with you is about entering into a period of time of celebration, but also not dissimilar to Mairead's message before you, find a way to kind of chill out. You need to kind of chill out. Okay. And again, I'm not saying light up. He's not saying light up. I'm just saying, everything seems to go back to her original message here. You may have such a reduction on stress, and I can't prescribe a diagnosis, and depression and any kind of sadness or emptiness or anxiety about control and where things are going. You may be able to alleviate that just through journaling and drawing, because I see you drawing in this. All right. So that's how you get there. They love you very much. Shauna Dempsey. Any messages from spirit? Messages from spirit for Shauna Dempsey. I heard pedal to the metal, put your pedal to the metal, foot to the ground, whatever it is, like go forward, stop stopping. It's like you may have had in your past a feeling like you were free falling the last 6 to 7 months. You've been in a free will zone. Everyone thinks they want free will until they have it, and then they have it and they feel lost. You're asking the universe, which way do I go? And the universe doesn't tell you. Is it left or right or wrong, black or white? I don't know, because the universe just keeps telling you, well, it's up to you. What do you want to do? What do you really want? What can you create here? And so you may have felt a little bit like you were free falling. Now, it could have also put you in a position, and you have to own that. Okay. But where you were like going forward and then 2 steps back, you were procrastinating a lot, you were starting to make change, you were starting to set better boundaries, and then you weren't following through, whatever. Now it's time to move. And this would have already started, but I'm seeing for the next 2 to 3 months, there's going to be a change in the 3rd month. So in the 3rd month, you're going to look back, okay, even at the previous month, and say, my God, everything's unrecognizable. Even I myself feel a little bit unrecognizable. But technically, this goes a total of 4 months. So you're in a transitional phase that does require you to keep the pedal to the metal. Is that how they say it? Movement, okay, forward. This is going to affect some relationship dynamics. Mostly with like boundary setting, not being able to center them as much as you had, blocking people out, like not paying attention to where they are with things, centering yourself more. But this is also affecting work, money, resources, career, investments. All right. So upgrades. But we have to keep that movement going. And you are the only one behind the wheel of that car. And you are still in a free will zone. So where do you want to drive it? There's sometimes if you've ever driven in New York in a blizzard, you have no clue what is in front of you, unless you're lucky enough to be behind like a semi or something, but like you have no clue where the road is. You don't even know. Every now and again, the light will shine and you get to see something. And you're like, oh, thank God. All right. But you have to keep going. You can't just stop in the middle of a blizzard and be like, hope someone rescues me, because they won't. Think of it like that. That's comforting, right? It's not that bad for you though. So enjoy it. Just keep going. Don't worry about what's ahead of you. You can always see eventually as you get closer. Edgar says, does my paternal grandmother, Rafaela, have any messages for me? Is that paternal? Okay, paternal grandmother. Rafaela, messages for Edgar. Red Rose, okay? So birthday or anniversary right around this time. This can also be passing anniversary or deep love. Take it out, resonates. I do feel like she's been dropping in on some dreams. And then I also hear water dripping and leaving you pennies from heaven. Pennies, nickels, dimes, quarters, tokens. You seem to be a strong numerology person. Sometimes you're getting messages from her also. She keeps mentioning a 5, and then we've got a 7 and a 9 and a 1. So 5, 7, 9, 1, 5, 7, 9, 1. But that won't hit until January. So by January, we'll be in a 1 phase. 5, right now you're going through change in several different areas of your life simultaneously. Directly after that, within like a month to a month and a half, she's going to be giving you 7. 7s are masks coming off, truths being revealed, pieces of the puzzle that you didn't previously have. This could also be like keys to lock doors of opportunity that you didn't have access to before. So all of this flowing, you will use your free will. And then the ending of a phase, out with the old life, okay, and into something new by January. Significant opportunity for growth there. She's also mentioning, where's this drippy faucet? It's like, how do I want to say this? You don't seem satisfied with your emotional state. It's like a dripping faucet. It's annoying, you can hear it. I mean, if you've ever stayed in a hotel and it's like, what is that? Or you try to fix it and it's like you can't screw that knob on any tighter. It just keeps dripping. Right now, you may have some emotional outpouring that needs to happen, or emotional outbursts or meltdowns. And this could be happening somewhat naturally, and she is walking you through that. She can't do it for you, but if you feel a need to release emotionally, let it happen, because there really is sort of no stopping it. But it seems like you've neglected it a bit. Manny, she loves you very much. Manny, corregidor. Hi, Ivy. Can I get a message from my dad, who is also Manny? Okay. Manny, what do you have for him? he's talking about creativity. He comes in here giving you an orange. I thought it was a rose. Now it sort of looks like a carnation. Both of these are going to symbolize for you, I feel like, creativity, being more artistic, getting your root chakra more in balance as well, he's talking about. So, what does that mean? I don't think that's a term he would have typically used, but he's just referring to this area of, your body and the point. Let's say it's kind of like your core, right? This point of your existence and energy field where all of your power flows from. There are a million different ways to be creative. I feel like he was creative, even if he worked really hard or didn't spend a ton of time, making artwork. There are a million ways, again, to allow yourself to express whatever it is that wants to come out, whether it be through musical instrument, it be through, clay throwing, pottery, it be through sculpture, you can fill in the blanks, painting, whatever. But the bottom line is, if you're not doing any of that, you can try to overly fix things. You can overcompensate by manipulating situations or trying to get people's lives to be better than what they are, overdoing it. Trying to be excessively organized. When we do not allow ourselves to have enough creative outlets, we will just get our hands up in everything, okay? Every other pot that is available. So he's trying to get you to focus more, I want to say, on your power. He's also saying you're coming more into your power. So we could see an increase here with like money, resources, investment opportunities. And he's excited for that. Also, any changes you're thinking of making in regards to like real estate upgrades to the residency. We could be looking at some change there. He said that there is, I want to say, an anniversary right around this time. Okay. So Red Rose, which is a birthday or anniversary right around this time somewhere. This can also be a passing anniversary. Take it out resonates. I feel like you're going to be hearing him audibly. He's, I think, doing this in the bathroom. The native belief is the porcelain, earth, water, and mirrors are all conductors of communication with the other side, which is accurate, totally. But also when you're dozing off or waking up, it can happen just as brilliantly right there. So you will be hearing him, okay? Not in your head as though it's your own inner voice as much as, his. And I think he just wants to spend some time with you, okay? He's giving you a hug. And if someone's dealing with a health issue, there's like a lot of thought on health, sort of like let it go. Okay, let it go. Let it go. Wash that out. You do the best you can. You do right by your body. You get medical care when you need it, and you let it go. Don't let it fester in the mind. Okay. And if someone around you is doing that, just make sure you're not absorbing all of that. He's trying to protect you from that. Ayana. Okay. He loves you very much. Ayana, how will things go with my labor and delivery soon? Labor and delivery for Ayana. How will it go? Well, I can't prescribe or diagnose, but if you were thinking of taking some significant drugs, it looks like maybe that. Even if you have another plan right now, say you change your mind, have at it. Fill me up. You know what I mean? That helps. And it looks good as something like that can look. Right? God bless you. You will be fine. Everything looks good. I think that you do want to, something about 2 to 3 days after. It's like, let's say, you're in a situation where somebody keeps bringing the baby to you, but not letting you sleep at all. That is really not going to be recommended. Feels like the first 2 to 3 days, there's someone there who could fix that problem, or even 2 people who could fix that problem. So delegation is going to be key. All right. And then I think recovery, okay, is, recovery seems to be the main point of attention here for you. And really right there in that spot. Okay. Congratulations. Good luck with everything. Okay. CJG says, I keep having a reoccurring dream about me walking through all kinds of houses. What message am I supposed to receive from this? Well, Different houses represent different stages of you. You are the house. So when we're talking about a house from childhood, for example, we would be talking about some unresolved issues from that time frame when that home was relevant. If we're talking about a home from another period in your life, you're just going to have to do the math, okay? And then that'll take you back to that time period. It will also remind you of what happened when you were living there. So the things that occurred, you could also say your development, right? During that time is resurrecting for review. This could be because healing is not linear, it's circular. It could be because there are many layers to any onion. Okay. It could be because you're ready for the next level up, the last significant level up was during that time or in that house. So you're ready for the next level up in that area of your life. And when these are houses you don't recognize, then we have to break it down by room. Attic is your mental state. The basement is skeletons in the closet and unfinished business. The bathroom is cleansing. The kitchen is what you're feeding your soul. The bedroom is your sex life. It can also be your subconscious mind, and on and on and on we go. So it would really depend on the details, but that should get you started. What are you supposed to receive from it? Well, just that you're looking, look deeper into everything I just said, obviously, but you're looking, you're trying to learn, you're trying to develop yourself, you're trying to grow and change, clearly, because you're seeing multiple houses, right? So multiple, like, CJGs, you know what I mean? Like multiple versions of you. You're in a growth process, but we take it home. You hit a home run with this when you really figure out like what ball game you're playing here. What and who is on your team, why these houses, why these rooms. And you want to also recognize that when something kind of confusing is showing up, like a house with many, many doors or a lot of hallways, kind of like a hotel, you may be confused about which decision to make. You may be confused about a situation in your life where you need to go through some door. You can't indefinitely just walk down hallways. But you don't know maybe which is the right one or what's behind every door. And so that can also help you to break down a very specific situation that's going on in your life at that time. Okay, hope that helps. I love dream analysis. For any of you who and I'm gonna try out a class with the public or one of these shows where we do just dream analysis maybe, but if you guys ever need to book a dream analysis reading, you can do that up on my website, Ivy Rivera Psychic Medium.com. And my symbology book, I am getting back on finishing that up. Yes, I am aware I'm like 2 years behind schedule, but as winter approaches, that's what I will be doing all winter. So the symbology book will be out soon. Christopher Graham wants to know, hi, Ivy, should I start a house cleaning business or something else? Christopher Graham, house cleaning business. You could do something else, but this could really work in, ooh, my ears are ringing. Holy shit. I just went deaf in the left. I think you need to do this. I think that here's what I like about it. Okay. You are able to accomplish all these things that are on your karmic to-do list. Okay. All these things that are within your life contract that you signed on to before you came to Earth. You can knock a whole bunch of these off, like at least 5. And that's you doing kind of the bare minimum. Okay. So this is solid in regards to growth and you learning a lot about running a business. Now, that allows you to get these tools in your belt and to get some tricks up your sleeve, right? Some stuff in your back pocket here that you can use as leverage later. If you decide to get into other things, some of the other things I see, and this may not make a ton of sense today because some of it comes through partnership and these people aren't even bringing this to you yet, but it looks like a bakery or some type of coffee shop, or I see sandwiches and soup, like a cafe, I guess. but it felt like a bakery. It started as baked goods. There's something about wanting more freedom though from that. So like maybe you don't want a brick and mortar, maybe you want to do something like a vending truck, or you want to whatever. There will be wiggle room here with this. Okay. So it could branch off into a couple different things. Something else I see is I'm hearing jazz, and I think it's a bar. If you were looking into bar ownership, something where you could work with musicians and artists on a regular basis, kind of hosting them, showcasing them. These are three completely different things. These are totally different, but somehow the cleaning business is setting you up for success in any other area you may want to go in, okay, in the future. And if you have questions on how it's going to work, the left ear is going to ring. The left ear is mediumship, okay? The grandmothers used to say left for love, right for spite, and that was fairly accurate. When your left ear rings, it is a spirit coming in, trying to communicate a message to you. It'll typically come in your head as though it is your own inner voice, okay, or a song even popping into your head. But that is spirit directing you. And that's intense. Okay, good luck. You don't have to do it forever either. If you do it for like 3 to 5 years and you're like, God, I'm done with this, be done. Be done with it. You should be good to go after that. Pinkness. Pinkness says, hi, Ivy. This is Jordan. Okay, so Pinkness, aka Jordan. And she says, my first question is about stabilizing business flow and money guidance. Okay. So am I doing both? Kim, because she has 2 questions here. Okay. The second one, and you guys can do that. There is a limit. If I didn't say that, there is a limit of 2 questions per viewer. But if you want to combine them like this, that's fine. So we don't have to go fish it out. So she says, my first question is about stabilizing. Do I have the name of the business? Business flow. I do not. Okay. And money guidance. My second question is, any messages from my deceased dog, Peanut? Aw. Let's go to Peanut first. Even though Peanut seems to be willing to wait, like, meh. Peanut's super chill, just kind of hanging out, happy to be here. Okay, loving you. Had a full life, had a good life. Is grateful. I do feel like you can hear Peanut in the house. I think I'm outside the bathroom door. I think I'm pawing. I believe I'm in the kitchen. Like the water bowl, a little messy, like hard food or pellets of food, and then walking into the bedroom mostly. I also feel like Peanut is spending some time with you when you're sitting on the couch. Say you're like cozy under a blanket and you're watching TV, or something like this. It seems like your lounge area, but mostly it's outside the bathroom door, and at night in bed. Okay. So Peanut is showing up also in dreams, not just laying in the bed with you, but I do feel like your heart's been a little broken lately. And so, trying to lay on your chest or near your heart to send some healing there. And there's talk of, I feel like it's almost like looking for Peanut or feeling bad, okay, in the end about how it went, trying to like rewrite that ending, and sometimes you just have to catch that you're doing that and let it go. You may also have something of Peanut's like a memorial area. I feel like I'm in the living room, is slightly to the left and down, or I'm sorry, I think I'm to the right. Yeah, I think I'm to the right and down. Take it how it resonates. But also talking, okay, through any of his things is going to help. Psychometry, we would say, right? A ton of love to you. I feel like you were an amazing friend. You were an amazing parent. Your first question on stability of the business and money guidance. Okay, so I don't have a business name here. Stabilizing business flow and money guidance. I do feel like one of the things you really need to do here is to, I heard, buckle down and focus on one thing. So you may have been struggling to understand what should be prioritized? And, you know, that's a tough question. I mean, this could end up being a much longer reading. You know, it's not that the things you've been focused on are garbage. It's just that things are changing all the time. And so you have to, you know, if you're going to be strong in business, you have to know how to reprioritize. You have to know how to flip the script. You have to turn on a dime. You have to be able to handle things that are thrown at you. You have to be able to, you know, foresee enough of the future and what's going on with the economy and da 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 da. I mean, it's not for the weak. That's for sure. And I feel like these are areas that you're learning. It's like, but you may feel as though you're learning the hard way. Okay. So if you are going to stabilize, it's going to require that you really focus. If you are making anything, creating anything, healing anything, sharing your knowledge and wisdom, communicating with the public, if you're doing something out of all the things I see you doing, where you're really coming from, okay, your creative self, and communicating. Remember, communication is not just what you say. It's what you share. It's what you make. It's how you dress. It's your body language. It's what you don't show up to. You know what I mean? There are a million ways to communicate. But that is what I see you doing and where the focus needs to be. Now, that is going to, if you can put enough time into it without stalling, which may have been a problem in the past significantly, because what you may think is going to be just a stall, or you may think, well, it's going to be a 2-week break, or you may not even think at all that you're stalling, but a bunch of stuff happens in life and then you didn't work in this area for months, right? It reminds me of me with my book. I'm like, how long has that been sitting there? You know, oh my God, 4 months just passed. It's like, well, I can't do it now. You know, like I've been too busy, whatever. It is life. It is going to happen. But at some point you have to take the bull by the horns. You have to become the captain of the ship and you have to say, I'm steering this thing, you know, and it may require that you throw some people overboard. You throw some things overboard. You know, I see you kind of throwing chairs and stuff overboard, which can mean that your attention seems to get spread a little too thin between too many different things. Okay, so those things can be postponed, delayed. I think that there may also be, not to totally contradict myself here, I can appreciate your position, okay? Like, you poor thing. Because this, then you're being called to education. You're being called to training. You're being called to a certification. Okay. You may want to book a life contract reading. We may need to take a deeper look. That takes an hour. Okay. It's up on my website, but it'll match your Vedic or Western astrology. It'll match your numerology chart. I've been testing it out for over 16 years with people who work in those fields. I think that you need to have a better grasp of what's going on in your life contract, because with this suggestion here to also get into a new title, a certification, you know, research, you know, education, whatever it is, that in itself, I'm not going to lie, looks really time consuming. And again, we could have that potential split in your mentality. Okay. So do what I said, but also be fluid. Okay. When it's the right time, you'll know how to pivot. Have faith in that. All right. Let's move on to Caitlin. Caitlin M on TikTok. If I could stop real quick also, can everybody please give this video a thumbs up, drop a comment of any kind. It helps me out in the algorithm. Please do hit that subscribe button and share this video. And again, if you guys weren't here at the beginning, or I'll remind you in case you didn't do it yet, I am this close to 12,000 subscribers here on YouTube at Ask Ivy. It is the best way to support me. And as soon as I hit 12,000 subs, I will be doing a free Ask Ivy show for those subscribers out to the public. Okay, so please hit that button and get me there. Let's move on to Caitlin. So Caitlin M on TikTok says, if Micah can confirm he's okay and tell me something that's happened since he's gone, to know that he is still here. Did he love me the same? He's been gone for 15 years and it's hard to heal. 15. Okay, so this is a lot. Okay, did he love me? Okay. Okay. I'm going to say this straight away. When you have had 15 years of signs and symbols from someone and you're calling into a mediumship show to have me like prove to you that that was him, you're never going to have enough. It has taken you, you said it's hard to heal. You're making it harder to heal than it needs to be. Okay. It's not that confusing. Mediumship is not that confusing. Did he love you the same? The same as what? People love in different ways. This question is so loaded with walls and blockages and refusal to embrace that it's distressing to see that you've been like this for 15 years and it's not, I don't think, going in the right direction for you. So I'm going to stop you right there with that. Okay. The key to mediumship is this: get your ego out of the way. Ego is fear, manipulation, and control. When you can let go of that, you can authentically tap into the spirit world, the mysteries of the universe, your higher mind, right? Your psychic ability, truth. You could tap into truth. When you are full of fear, manipulation, and control, you block everything from that right side of your brain, from that intuitive side of your brain. And anything that comes to you, you reject, you deny, you question, you negate. And every time you do that to a spirit, you push them away. Every single time he sends you something and you say, well, I don't know. That could be my imagination. That could be anything. You just rejected him again. And then you're following up with, well, does he love me? Does he love me? Well, what more do you want? You have to learn to accept love. You have to learn to accept life. And you need to learn to accept how mediumship is constantly working, whether you accept it and acknowledge it or not. But the only time it's going to heal you is when you do. You have to, give and feed the embracing of it in order to get more. Basic law of attraction and manifestation. I do feel like he wants to address, I want to say this part right here though, does he love you the same? You can't love someone in exactly the same way because you're centering yourself and you're saying, well, everyone else, has to be like me or he has to be like me in this. These are two separate individuals. He loves you deeply. He loved you deeply. He continues to love you deeply. And I think it's the same in the way that you want there to be almost like an unconditional love and an admiration. Okay. That may be what you need right now. And yes, that is 100% there. I would also say that here's a symbol that you can watch for, so you can't negate this one. He's giving you like an ocean scene or the beach, okay? And what looks like dolphins and like whales coming out of it, okay? Like jumping or presenting themselves. So I want to say be watching for images of this and literally this. Is it hard to heal? Yes, especially when you stay on a loop. And mediumship is the knowledge that no one ever dies. They simply transform. Energy shifts. That's it. Okay, so he's here to talk constantly. Okay, just in a different way. And we need to embrace that more. Miami Heat 305-ish. Miami Heat 305-ish says, okay, it's Hazel. Hazel. Okay. So AKA Hazel. Any messages from my grandmother on my mother's side? All right, grandma on mom's side. Where should I focus my energy this month? This month? What month is this? September? September of 25. Okay, so messages from grandma to Hazel, grandma on mom's side. I smell her perfume. You may have Claire Augustine, the ability to smell phantom flavors, or I am so out of it today. What did I say? Smell phantom odors and taste phantom flavors. Although she's not really giving me any of those, but I can smell her perfume. Okay, so be watching for her in that. She's also showing what looks like, I heard begonias, but I don't actually know what these are. Gardenias or something? It's like big flowers. Gardenias, maybe? Opening wide, purple, blue, pink, white. Okay, she's sending some of these to you in images, and more smells like flowers. There is another grandmother here. I'm smelling cigarettes. I don't know if she smoked or had a cancerous condition. Entirely possible. Okay, take it how it resonates. But you have a couple different people here. When I go with this grandmother, though, grandma on mom's side, the first thing is to know, she said how smart you are. Smart. It's like you just passed some tests, or you're passing some tests. These are almost like IQ tests, but it's like a sharpened pencil, multiple choice, and I'm passing this with flying colors. I think what she's trying to say here is that you're book smart, okay, but you're also street smart. And she's proud of you for this. A lot of your intelligence came directly from her. She doesn't sugarcoat. She pats herself on the back. Okay, basically you're smart because of her. All right. And I feel like anything you want to do, you're going to succeed because you're smart. And she said there's a difference between being smart and having intellect. There's a difference between, being someone who can like get stuff done versus someone who has character development and integrity and consistency. There are differences. And you have it all. So whatever you want to do, you will not only be able to do it, but you will do it well. And this may be a period of change for you, a period of time where you're going through some change, investing in the new you or your new lifestyle, career, etc. September, what was the other question? Okay, September of 25. What should you be paying attention to, or what messages are coming up for that? I heard your bank account. It's kind of like keep an eye on your bank account, watch your bank account. That's not to say that anything is necessarily wrong, but you may be trying to increase your savings. You may be trying to feel that you have more stability. So when you look at that number, so it doesn't have to be your literal bank account. I don't care if you keep your money under the mattress or in a freezer, it's just knowing that you have a solid foundation there, a little bit of a net. Okay. So that's somewhere that you should be focusing. Also, I want to say the last week of September, if like messages are coming at you or people are coming at you and bothering you, you may want to keep your foot down. Okay. Tune that out, set strong boundaries. You may have people coming at you trying to throw elbows, push their weight around to get you to move faster or give more or benefit them before you have time to think about it. Okay. So anytime anyone's rushing at you with something, it reminds me of the American capitalistic toxic workforce. Everything is a rush. Everything is critical. And I run a few businesses, and I'm careful, with my employees not to come at them like that. If something is time sensitive, I will simply say time sensitive next to it. And that's rare. That may only happen a couple times a month. The rest, it is what it is. It's up here. These are the things that need to be done. Okay. Everybody knows, everyone's doing their best. I can count on them for that. But this force, this toxic, force coming at you may be something you've been programmed into, okay, as all Americans have, to like, they say jump, we say how high, okay? And you're like, no, nope, not doing it. She would. Miami Hazel says she would. She would what? I'm gonna have to go back and listen. Because she's smart and everything. Yeah, I'm smart and pretty. I feel like you have like her jawline. It's cute. You guys are cute. Jessica Graham says, "Hi, Ivy. What blessings are coming my way? What guidance do my guides have for me right now?" Okay, so Jessica, blessings or guidance from guides? Relationships. So your guides are coming through primarily your relationship guide, talking about not overreaching. When you look at other relationships in your life, um, what I think they're trying to say with this is like outside of like you and yourself, you and your higher mind, outside of yourself. I feel like you've done a lot of work on yourself in your relationship to yourself, and food and what you need, and rest and a positive mindset. And when you start to, you know, feel like you're low, you check yourself and you get the help or take deep breaths or whatever it is. I feel like you've done the work there. Now it's time to focus. So kudos. Okay. But now it's time to focus on relationships with others. And it seems like there is still a tendency to overreach there. It also seems like you may be dealing with conflict. So a need to think for yourself, right? Comprehensive way, create clarity. Don't rush too quickly past things. Don't feel as though because everyone else is doing it or everyone else feels this way or everyone else is saying this, that you should just get tied up in that and contribute your energy toward that. It's about pulling back and, allowing yourself to really analyze what is going on with different people. And I don't care if these are just like people on social media or these are like friends and acquaintances or, a lover, whatever. It doesn't really matter who it is. You just seem to be in a period of time here for a while, ballpark 4 weeks. It's going to be intense, but this could go about 5 months out to the future, depending on how quickly you do this and how other people act. Free will. Too many hands in the pot. Okay, to know. But it's about observing them in a critical type of a way. You could say judgment. You could also just say discernment. You're looking at these people and you're figuring out more about what they stand on, what they're all about, or do they? Are they fickle? Are they constantly changing? Are they out of control? Do they say one thing and then do another? Is this even something you should be contributing to? So a period of evaluation going on with that. Okay. And on an end note with that, I would just say you may be at the end of that like 5-month process, having rearranged everyone like a Rubik's Cube. Okay. And it's like, okay, if I want all my colors in order here on each side, you know what I mean? I got a lot of work to do. I don't have a lot of time to mess around. So sometimes in life, we don't have to burn bridges or completely block people or throw people out. We just need to rearrange them, put them where they belong, okay, and keep them there. I have to fix this YouTube puzzle, not YouTube, TikTok. You guys hear my stomach? It's like a lion. Okay, there we go. I think I got it. I'm starving. I think I forgot to eat today. I am loopy today. I don't know what the hell's going on. All right. So something with the planets, or I don't know. Who wants to tune me in? What's going on with all the astrology? I know we've got like eclipses, but I'm a Cancer sun, and so like I'm ruled by the moon, and when the moon cycles get nutty, I'm like a maniac. I don't know how I'm alive. I really don't. All right. That was weird. But at least the messages are hitting, it looks like. Okay, you guys are giving some great feedback here. So thank you for that. That's the only important thing. As long as I can communicate with spirit, everything is gonna be fine. All right, Deborah Rose, you're up next. Deborah Rose says, I'm having a hard time getting along with my mother. What could help? I wouldn't expect so much out of her. You really do think that, one day she's going to act this way or change this behavior or be open to, this modification. And it's like, that's not happening. I would expect less. I would also expect less and observe a little bit more about what you're hoping to get from her. So there is this sense of, you being a little girl hoping to hear something out of her. It's almost specific, like maybe that she's acknowledging you, okay, and celebrating you and getting you like in sync with you, not just like doing her thing or talking at you or living her life or detached, or like you're on a sideline watching and she's the show, she's the performance, she's the game. So much of your attention goes to her. And it's like, why? Well, because you're waiting for this thing. You're waiting for that, And I hate to say it, but I don't think it's coming. And I think that what you need to do to get free from that is to examine how long that's been there and how else you can get those needs met. Reparenting yourself even. Okay. But the tension is really coming from some of those unresolved issues. And I do wonder if in the past it wasn't that noticeable, but because of some of the changes that are going on right now, it's like coming to the surface. It's coming to the forefront. You have a grandmother coming through. I want to say her mother, I'm on her side, showing it like an octopus, like octopus legs. And so you may feel sometimes with your mother like you're swatting at this octopus arm, and then it finally goes back under the boat, and then is swatting at that one, and then there are 3 more, and then it's like I'm swatting at this, I'm swatting at that. And okay. So anyways, she's saying pick your battles also. Okay, pick your battles. I think that the more you can put up your boundaries and your walls and be less engaged, with her energy. And that doesn't mean you're not talking to her or dealing with her. I just mean be less engaged. I have a class up on the website called Empathic Awareness. I teach this at universities. I train therapists. I train educators. When you learn how to get into any situation and properly block, you're going to be able to, especially in an empathic situation where you would have normally accidentally, involuntarily absorbed someone else's energy to the point where you almost become them. You can almost lose your identity in the whole thing, right? The better you learn how to use these blocking techniques, the better off you'll be, okay, in all areas of life. So you may want to check that out, but I do think you need some new tools, and that can't be explained here in like 2 seconds. It's a 2-hour training, but check it out. Yeah. Detachment. Because there really won't be changes. Okay, we're going to move on to Camille Parker. Camille says, how does Donnell really feel about me? Donnell. Should I separate myself from him for good? How does Donnell feel about Camille? I don't really think he feels anything, This is unfortunate because he seems like a sensitive person. Like his eyes look like a sensitive person. He may have some water in his chart or Scorpio or something, like he's got depth, maybe Pisces, but he's got depth there. The potential for depth. Every sign has a low and a high vibration. I don't feel like he has evolved beyond being sensitive for himself. There's a massive difference between someone who is kind of sensitive, right? Meaning mostly, yeah, they can have feelings or emotions about different things, but ultimately they only really know what they feel sensitive about. That does not equate to empathy. The higher evolution of such a thing. How are other people? Okay. How am I affecting other people? It never got there with him. It could have, but the days of you waiting around for it to happen need to be over. That's for sure. He would never do this with you present anyways. He would never evolve because he doesn't have to. And it's like you cover all that, you carry all that, you do all that, and you've accepted less. So, it started on that note. And that's hard to break. But I feel a stubborn energy here with Danelle. And so the way he looks at you is, I heard unapologetic, again, lacking empathy. And there's a sense of ego here also, of like, I'm right, or I need to be right, or she can't see beyond this mask. So this may be someone who's walling you out. That is not a connection. You know, I'm not saying it was never there, maybe in the beginning, maybe it was, but you know, that is not a connection. That is not a partnership. That is not a mutual love and respect. That is competition. It's almost like you're the enemy, you know? So it's like, I can't let her see this or that or the other. And he may feel attacked by you, not because you would attacked him in any way, but because you may have asked for something. You know, you may have asked even just for him to share or be honest. You may have asked for reciprocity. You may have asked for him to be a decent partner. You may have asked for the basics, and how dare you ask me for the basics? Okay, so hit him right in the ego. Yeah, he's just not capable of managing anything. So anyways, that's how he feels about you. And as far as staying, I don't know why you would. Patterns never lie, and we don't have a pattern of anything really good here. Okay. Even when he has agreed to make changes, he has not stuck with it. So there you go. There's your pattern. And that's what you can expect of him in the future. And I don't honestly think he'll be able to get on with anyone other than if he can, you know, find another person who will just tolerate him. And that person, if that happens, will be using him up, and he's going to get some karmic delivery there. So yeah, you're kind of the end of an era here. I would definitely get free. I would not look back. Nope. No more promises. It's way too late for that. Ayana says, how can I move forward growing my YouTube channel? Okay. I get consistency, but consistency of the right kind. If you were doing something like speaking to different groups of people, almost like collective messaging, okay, and I don't have the name of the YouTube channel, and you didn't say what it's about, but this is just what I'm seeing. So take it how it resonates. This is the vibe. So it feels like if you are sending certain messages, you're communicating something, okay, out to this group of people, and then this group of people, and this and this. Just make sure that you're doing that regularly. So I'm going to use the example of some of the YouTube channels that I follow. And again, this is just an example. Apply it how it resonates. But like, I watch certain astrologers who are incredibly accurate. But the minute they take out that tarot deck, I'm like, hell no, sister. I would not take your advice in a million years, right? She's not correct with herself. She's not correct with society. She's on the wrong side of politics. And I would never. The only thing she's good at doing is reading a chart. You understand? There are other people. I would listen to anything they have to say. And not that I enjoy things like collective messages, you know, because I'm always short on time. I want to hear about Gemini. I want to hear about Cancer, and I want to get out of here. You know, if they're doing something like tarot reads, for example, right? But because they're so good, I would listen to anything they put out if it crosses my feed. It's like, that's you. Okay. You're in that category. That's how you're being seen. And you have to spend more time recognizing how you're seen, how you're heard, what you are as the brand, because you don't decide your brand. I don't care how hard people try. You don't decide your brand. People decide your brand. The audience will decide what and who you are for you. And all you have to do is listen and then be like, is that what I am to you guys? Okay, it's what I am. I'm cool with that. I, in my own businesses in ministry, I haven't messed with anything since I came public in like 2011. I've never touched a thing. This is what you guys said I am for you. Then this is what I'll do. This is what Spirit said I should do and say. This is what's part of my life contract. That's what I'm going to do. I show up. I be of service. I don't have to worry about how it lands. I just have to show up when called to do so. And that does require regular attendance. And this is what I think you need to be doing. Now, it's hard to collect some of that information by looking at like your algorithm or the stats or, whatever YouTube sends. I don't even look at it most of the time. Whatever that email is, it's like, this is how you did. But you can use a combination of some of that feedback and also understand where we are collectively. So where we are as a collective in the revolution, what are people looking for? Stay away from the stale, stay in your lane, be consistent. And when you do something like show up to speak to a group of people, make sure you're really honing in on that group's energy. Okay? It's just like a one-on-one time, with that particular audience. And I want to say remove yourself from it more. Okay, remove yourself from it more. Yeah, I think that'll work. It's really coming down to consistency, though. I mean, I've heard that like 3 or 4 times. Just be consistent. And that's going to be I'm hearing every 2 weeks. If you could do well, like every 2 weeks, that should do it. Pro Joe on TikTok. Any messages from my brother Ronnie? Okay, and is he okay? Ronnie for Pro Joe. Is he okay? When I go over here with Ronnie, I feel like, yes, absolutely. Okay, first of all, ton of love to you. Kind of a character. I don't know if this person's neurospicy per se, but like a little odd, but very like raw, very down to earth, you could be so comfortable with this person. A little unhinged though. Yeah. There is talk of drug and alcohol abuse or drinking or something. It felt also like some violence around. So there may have been some questionable circumstances. I also felt like my arm was affected. My arm went limp, and this could have been pretty tragic, passing. We don't have to get into the details here, but you are familiar, and he just wants you to know that he's in a good place. Like all of this gone, okay? All of this gone. Body gone, stress of the situation gone. I feel like what's not gone is that there's a lack of closure. Some people may feel as though they didn't get a proper goodbye, 3 to 5 in particular. I think 2 females, 1 male, and then a female and a male. Give out love to everyone. Okay, he is giving you a white rose and pulling the thorns off, which means between the two of you, there may also be a lack of closure. Or feeling like there wasn't a proper goodbye. He's ringing my left ear. The mediumship is on fire tonight. Okay. I've got some people tuned in here tonight who are full blown mediums. I really hope you choose to use it. But he is ringing that left ear and then putting thoughts in your head, songs in your head. You will hear him audibly sometimes. He's with you in the car. He's with you in the music. He's with you on the radio. Messing up your computer. What is your screensaver? And something about like mountains. And if you're traveling, if you're trying to travel and get away more, I feel like he loves nature. And I feel like he speaks to you in nature. But I feel like you have a lot of positive memories also, okay, with him. He wants you to celebrate his life, focus on the positive things, the silly things, the uplifting things. And also giving a red rose. I'm not sure if this is for mom or if this is for you. Take it how it resonates. But there is a red rose going out here also, which is a birthday or anniversary right around this time. This can also be a passing anniversary, and it is absolutely a deep love regardless. He's also talking about like a tattoo, but also what looks like a necklace or a rosary. Okay. Or something like this, like a string of beads. And so be watching. Okay. Also in that symbology, is he cremated? It's like what was done with the service or what was done. He jumps from topic to he's a little hard to follow. He jumps from topic to topic. He's good. Okay. Your question anyways. Okay. Is he okay? Does he have any messages? Yeah. Yep. Lots of them. All right. I would say just simply because he is such a good communicator, watch for him, ask for, okay. Not just like watch and passively wait and hope. No, ask for right now. We're asking, show up in a dream, Ronnie, and come and visit and spend some significant time with me tonight. Okay. Like when I'm sleeping, like come visit. He's pretty good at it. A lot of love to you. I am sorry for your loss. Let's get another paper here and move on to Ludmilla. Ludmilla says, I feel frozen. 3 businesses, pizza, apothecary, and tarot. Which way should I go? Well, depends on what you want. You know, this isn't falling into a destiny charted zone. This is up to you. You're in a free will zone. No wonder you feel frozen. I said this earlier to someone else. We all think we want free will until we have it. And then you feel like you're free falling and you are like a deer in the headlights. It's not human nature to want to be in too much free will. Okay. But that's where you are. So the universe is asking you, you know, what do you want to create? What does your higher mind want? I think if I can help you to tune in a little bit with your higher mind, let's be honest about this. The apothecary is not doing it for you. There's some great stuff about it, but so much of it is like, ugh, I don't even want to, you know, deal with it. The tarot is calling you. And the pizza is financially stable, not all the time, but with some tweaks. Like if you change 3 different areas to the same one of different, and you may have even started this in the last, like I keep seeing 1 week or 1 month. This could be like ingredients, for example. This could be the cost of certain ingredients, okay, or tariffs and taxes even. I mean, if you make some adjustments on what you're using and how you do it, it can continue to be profitable. People are always going to eat pizza. People are always going to have to get their car fixed. So you've got stability there. I think what your higher mind is asking you to do is to, it's almost like marry the apothecary and tarot and bring some energy work into it as well. Almost like, you know, Reiki, psychic surgery, whatever, chakra realignment, energy work, however you choose to do it, right? But spiritual life coaching as well, where you're offering more than just a reading and you're offering more than just like a Reiki session. You know, what's in between? I think that you find a lot of fulfillment and happiness and you are completing a lot of the stuff in your life contract when you're doing that kind of work. So you may give a tarot reading and think about it for days. And you may be like, God, that was on fire. That was like right in alignment, or I even like felt it. You know, like people get high from doing this. Like they're not me, but you know, they are like high off of that connection, you know, to the universe. And there's a reason for that. It keeps light workers motivated. You know, it's a dopamine hit. It's an adrenaline rush. When you feel that, it's not something you should be overlooking. It is a sign for you that you are in alignment with your life contract. You're doing what you're supposed to do. You are where you're supposed to be. And I don't see that happening when you're dealing with pizza, you know, or most of the time dealing with the apothecary stuff. Again, the apothecary is a little hit or miss. So I'd say focus on tarot. Okay. But it's also about recognizing you need some expansion there. Okay. It's not done yet. Like a pizza, it's not cooked. Okay. You can't take it out too early. So it's not like, well, that's all. No, that isn't all. This is the first step in that. Okay. So you'll marry these things, you'll blend, you'll expand. And every time you do a reading, you are gaining more insight into yourself, your higher mind, your life purpose, your own healing, and what's next in that. Pro J said, you're amazing. You made me cry. Aw. You are so welcome. I'm glad to hear that. Okay, your brother Ronnie. Okay, beautiful. He's adorable. You guys are very, very sweet. You have a really nice connection. Okay, this is the last call. All right, if we want to pop up, Kim, any feedback on the screen here, that would be great. Any messages, because I didn't get to watch the comment section at all. This is the last call. So if you have not dropped your $10 donation or your question, you're going to want to go ahead and do that at this time. If you guys want to see me for any of my public events, you can go onto my website. On the events page, you can see everywhere that I'll be. I don't have Holiday up there yet at the Haunted Richardson Hotel, the old psych ward, but I will be getting that up there probably in the next 24 to 48 hours. And if you guys need to book a reading with me, I do work internationally. And so there's a time slot available for everyone, even on Eastern time. I'm working till like 3 a.m. every day. And if none of the time slots work with you, you can get a video reading. Okay, so you can do all of that at Ivy Rivera Psychic Medium.com. Also, I have to say, okay, with the mediumship I feel in this audience tonight, I'm telling you, register. If you've been thinking about registering for the psychic mediumship course, just do it. Because if I could get my hands on a couple of you, oh my God, okay, you'd make my whole year. Deborah Rose said true. Okay, awesome. Any other comments here? Fairies Visa said, awesome. I was learning tarot and apothecary together, and I just learned to move energy intentionally. There you go. If that's not literally everything Spirit said, beautiful. And Pro J said, you are spot on, and I'll be back. Beautiful. All right. Well, thanks, guys. Looks like we are probably at time. If no one else has, Kim, I'm just going to wait for that final heads up from you that we're going to wrap up. And okay, perfect. So we are at time. All right, I will see you guys back here next Wednesday, I believe is my Dear Ivy free advice show. If I hit 12,000 subscribers here on YouTube at Ask Ivy before then, I will be doing a free show, free Ask Ivy show for the public. Okay. And I am doing shows every other Wednesday. So we will also be back with the Unbound Sage, where I deliver out a message to you from the universe and trying a couple new things as we go forward into 2026. So I will see you guys back here soon. Thank you so much. Thank you, Spirit. And thank you, Kim. Have a good night, everyone.